My friends and I went camping last week and something truly weird happened. I picked up Kevin and Mason early in the morning and we arrived at the campsite by midday. I parked the car and opened the trunk to unload the stuffs we brought. Both Kevin and Mason were standing right behind me to help with the unloading, and we all went fudge at the same time when the trunk was open. You see, I picked up Kevin last. He was supposed to bring the tent and the folding chairs. So I remember us unloading some smaller things from the trunk and loading the tent first. Both Kevin and I remembered the exact loading order. First was the tent, then there were 2 bags, and the last ones were the lightweight folding chairs. The tent had to be in there, but it wasn't. Mason, of course, complained that we must have left the tent on the sidewalk in front of Kevin's house. Both Kevin and I knew that was impossible. But what else was there to say? Regardless of what we remember, the tent wasn't in the trunk. So in the end, we decided to go back to Kevin's to pick up the tent. There's no camping without it. We drove all the way back to our town and parked the car in front of Kevin's home. Kevin went inside to bring the tent and Mason and I were playing on our phones. 5 minutes later, Kevin comes back and says to us, "Yo, I don't have the tent." Mason began bitching and moaning while I stepped out of the car to check the trunk again. When I opened the trunk, I said, "Guys, you should come here for a second." All 3 of us stood there dumbfounded and we couldn't utter a single word for a while. The freaking tent was inside the trunk. How is that possible? All 3 of us saw that we were missing the tent back at the campsite. It wasn't just me, Kevin, or Mason. All 3 of us stood right in front of the open trunk and saw that we didn't bring the tent. So how is it that the tent is inside the trunk now? None of us doubted that it was a glitch in the Matrix phenomena. If it was just one person who had witnessed it, then perhaps you can argue forgetfulness, temporary insanity, or whatever comes to mind. But again, there were 3 of us. That's just way too many eyeballs and one too many brains to blame the issue on forgetfulness and insanity. Count me in as a believer of the glitch in the Matrix phenomena. The shit is real. We all have deja vus from time to time, and I think it is most often used to explain the glitch in the Matrix phenomena. I recently had an experience which I can only call it a glitch in the Matrix incident. I really don't see how one could call it a deja vu. Therefore, I think it'll be worth sharing my story with as many people as possible. Exactly 10 days ago, and this was on a Tuesday, I woke up in the morning just like any other days and began to get ready for work. So I went into the bathroom and got undressed to take a shower. I took off my shirt, and right as I was about to jump into the bathtub, I noticed a large scar on my left bicep. There's a problem with that. I don't have any large scars on my body. I mean, I have one now, but I didn't have it until this morning, and I don't know where I got it from. I never got myself hurt so badly to have a scar of that size. I was really scared. I picked up the clothes from the floor and got dressed again. Then I called Mom and told her that I was going to ask her something really stupid. I don't know why I said that, but maybe it was the only thing that I could say without seeming to be crazy when I'm asking a crazy question. I asked Mom, "So Mom, the scar on my bicep, when was it exactly that I got it?" And she answered, "Six Flags, you were 11, it's on your body, you should know. Stop asking dumb questions, I gotta get to work." I laughed it off like it's nothing, sat by and hung up the phone. Here's the thing though, I don't remember ever going to an amusement park. My brother was hit by a car when he was 6 years old. Ever since then, he's developed this incredible fear of machines in general. Forget the rides in the amusement parks. My brother gets nervous of riding cars for God's sake. Because of my brother, we never went to amusement parks when we were young. But somehow I'm told that we had. The next logical person to check with was my brother. I called him and asked, "Hey Bobby, do you remember about the accident I had in the amusement park?" Bobby responded, "Duh, I was there, idiot. Why are you asking this dumb question the first thing in the morning?" I didn't know what to say, and so I sort of just mumbled, No, I'm sorry, I dreamt of it last night, and I don't know, man, go to work." I hung up the phone, and my brother didn't make a big deal out of it. Right now, I'm still trying to piece together the puzzle. I got a huge score that I don't remember ever getting. I supposedly went to an amusement park, but I've never been to one. And apparently my brother has never been hit by a car. Try to explain them with deja vu. Have you ever had something so crazy happen to you that you couldn't even talk about it with your friends? Well, I had something like that happen to me last month. This was after lunch, and I was at work minding my own business. Our office is a large open space. We don't have separate offices or cubicles. There are 5 large tables, and each is shared by 4 to 6 people, depending on which team you belong to. So essentially, everyone's in view of everyone. On this particular day, I was going over a document, but then some parts of it confused me a little. I got up to go speak to the manager when I saw a face that I didn't recognize. The stranger was a male in his 20s, tall and skinny. But yeah, I had never seen him in the office before. I turned to Claudia and asked, "Hey, who's the new guy?" And she answered, "That's Brad, the new guy who replaced Jacob." "Jacob quit?" I asked again with a puzzled look on my face. "What's wrong with you, girl? We all said goodbye to Jacob last week. I even remember you giving him a hug." Claudia responded while looking at me like I went crazy. I just went, "Oh, okay," then walked away to go see my manager. The truth is, I had no idea what the hell Claudia was talking about. In any event, I came back to my table after the talk with the manager. But on the way, I saw Jacob working at his station while, according to Claudia, he had been replaced by Brad, the new guy. I said to Claudia, "Hey, I thought you said Jacob quit and the new guy had replaced him?" And she went, "What? What are you talking about? What new guy? I didn't say anything about Jacob quitting." Then she got up and headed toward the kitchen. Now, you tell me, did she just pull a prank? The worst prank ever? Or is it possible that I was momentarily in a different reality and then somehow brought back to my original one? Because I tell you, I haven't seen the new guy since then. As far as everyone's concerned, Brad does not exist. It takes me about half an hour to get to work from home, and it takes about the same time to drive back home. 5 days ago from today, I got off early from work at noon to attend my nephew's elementary school musical. I had to go home first for a quick shower, and thus I began driving on the same set of roads I drive on every day to return home from work. 5 minutes into the drive, the music was blasting through the speakers, and I was singing along gleefully, delighted that my half day was followed by Saturday and Sunday. Then something truly incredible happened that I can't explain it with logic. The same music was playing through the speakers, and I was still singing along, but suddenly my car was parked in front of my house. Imagine a cut from scene to scene in a film. That's essentially what it felt like to me. One moment, I was 25 minutes out from home. Then a second later, I was parked outside of my house. And once again, it is important to point out that the same music that I was listening to, supposedly 25 minutes ago, was still playing in my car stereo. I was unable to move from the shock. I just sat in my car completely baffled. I stepped out of the car eventually, then checked the time on my phone. It was 12:37. I must have been sitting in the car for about 5 minutes. I don't know why I did that, but I went around the car to inspect it, as if they would yield some sort of an answer. After the inspection, I leaned against the trunk and began to rack my brain over what had just transpired. I wished I would have reset the trip meter. I mean, that would at least tell me if I had actually traveled the distance of my normal commute. As it stands, I had somehow driven for about 25 minutes. but I don't have any memories of the drive. I've had memory lapses in the past, but nothing as drastic as this one. From time to time, we all forget about certain actions we took or the words we spoke just minutes ago. Those things happen to all of us. But when was the last time you had 25 minutes of your life erased? Something like that just doesn't happen to normal, healthy people. Now I'm thinking about all kinds of crazy things. Is this an early sign of Alzheimer? Maybe I time traveled? Or did I drive through a wormhole? I've been Googling all week for answers, but I realize now this isn't the sort of question that Google or Siri might have answers for. I used to call BS on stories about aliens, ghosts, alternate reality and whatnot, but I'm not so sure anymore.